It's a lot easier to stop a hero when the temperatures drop below zero. Here's your look at Mcfarlane Toys DC Multiverse Mcfarlane Collector's Edition Dǝvᴉous Captain Cold. Central City has been home to plenty of supervillains over the years, enough to keep even the fastest man alive running ragged. But of all the Flash's notorious gallery of rogues, none is cooler than the parka-clad, cold Ray Packin Leonard Snart, a.k.a. Captain Cold. I'm sure whatever he touches turns to snow in his clutches. Does that make him too muches? Stop that. That's stupid. How about instead, though, we take the tape measure and we see how tall the DC Multiverse Rogues Captain Cold stands. I actually found this one online, and the figure's going to stand at about 7 inches in height, or the Master of the Cold is about 18 centimeters tall. As for the Scarlet Speedster, yes, here's what Captain Cold looks like along with him. I feel like we still haven't gotten ourselves a perfect-looking Flash. Yeah, we've gotten good releases, don't get me wrong, but not one that I can say is a definitive-looking Flash. Here's also what the figure looks like with a couple of other Flash rogues. Here's first what he looks like with Captain Boomerang. Here's also what he looks like with Professor Zoom, or, of course, Reverse Flash. And seeing as it did still have him, I did want to bring in the one we got from Mattel, I mean, like how many years ago? This is the Captain Cold from the DC Universe Classics days. Snart is certainly stacked with accessories. First, the figure does come included with a trading card. The trading card does have, as you probably already can see, Mcfarlane Collector's Edition down the side. A good image also as well for Captain Cold, one of my favorite of Flash's Rogues Gallery. On the back of the card, though, the real name is, Leonard Snart. There is also as well about a paragraph read or so. You can pause, you can read for yourself. I mean, you could do that. You could put yourself through all that work. But I've also saved you the work. I've read it for you. No. That's the least I could do. Let's move that card. Really cool looking card. I see what I did there. Let's move that off, though, to the side. The figure does also come included with a display stand. Now, because this is the collector's edition, you get a little more of the frills down below. It's been branded instead in silver rather than traditional black. The peg is still off to the far corner. That doesn't change. Obviously, they're just using the same sculpt again. That can plug into either one of obviously, Captain Cold's boots. Put that off to the side. Okay, so the figure does come included with his freeze gun, some swappable hands, and some swappable face plates. What do you want to start with first? Swappable hands? Okay, we'll do that first. First of all, the figure does have on the ends of his forearms already, over here and over here, a pair of closed fists. If you'd rather instead have them swapped out with a pair of dynamic hands, grabbing hands, mauling hands, or plotting hands. I wonder what Barry's doing right about now. You can then swap these out with the existing hands that he has. Or rather, you can also as well change them out with a couple of C-clamp gripping hands. These are good for holding, of course, his blast pistol, his freezing gun. Which, one thing unfortunately about the freezing gun is while it does look neat, I want to resist by saying cool, it looks interesting enough, and it does certainly look like he does, like the gun that he has in the comics. Unfortunately, though, like the handle is, I feel, abnormally large. Don't get me wrong, like the length isn't so bad. I feel the girth. Stop that. The handle, unfortunately, because the way it is, even if you want to try to get your hands around the handle, you have to kind of pry the fingers away from the palm. And like, look how much struggle you have to do just to get the hand to properly hold the gun. I mean, again, like, so much less work would have been involved on my part just to get that gun in his hand, had they only made the handle just a little bit smaller. It does also cause one other problem. I mean, it's nice that they included this, but he has a holster on the side of his leg. He can't actually hold the gun inside of his holster. Just to bring back, I know, again, this is a slightly older figure, but this is the one from Mcfarlane, this is the one from Mattel, also starting with M. His freeze gun also had a holster on the side that you could take the gun and slide that in there. While he has it fine on the side of his he has a holster on the side of his leg, he doesn't have, again, the proper means to holster the gun. I know it would have been involved a little more additional sculpting. Obviously, they would have to have put the flap on the front of it and made that completely open. I would love, though, that they could have done that, even if it meant that the figure cost a couple of dollars more, just so I could actually have taken the freeze gun and holster it in his leg. I mean, it's sort of teased more than anything else. It's completely enclosed in plastic. There's no way you can actually open this up. Just a bit of a shame, that's all. By the way, though, if you did want to change out the hands, it's just a simple case of popping them off from the provided pegs. You don't have to make that noise. That was me, by the way. That was my mouth. That wasn't the plastic. Then plug the new hand that you want to plug in place. We'll do the exact same on this side, too. Although, you know what? Let's go a little crazier. Oh, you're getting crazy. Let's grab one of the gestured dynamic hands. There you go. So you have Captain Cold with one hand like that. The other hand is ready to blast the Scarlet Speedster. Unfortunately, though, the figure doesn't also come included with any freeze effects that go on the end of the gun. I don't know if I could I wonder if I could maybe grab one of the electricity effects that were blue from one of the previous release Flash, and maybe just kind of wrap it around the nozzle, kind of make it look like it's starting to freeze. I don't know. Leave that with me. It's going to be a side project of mine. Also, one side project that you may have to invest in as well is the figure does have some swappable faceplates. Now, this is the defaulted head. I feel no real need to change this out for one of the other, I don't want to say inferior looking faceplates, but when you see how good this one comes out of the packaging already, I don't really feel ever the need to want to change it out with this head sculpt, which basically just like a neutral expression. That's not true, actually. He's got a bit of a smirk in the corner of his mouth. He's also got a little bit more squinted eyes. There is also this option, which he seems more sneering than anything else. The thing about it, though, is like to look at this and to look at this, other than just really the change of the eyes, and maybe again, like a little bit of the mouth, did we really need necessarily to have two head sculpts that look somewhat, I know they're not exactly the same, but somewhat similar to one another? Changing out the faces, by the way, is just a case of you kind of have to get in there, grab the face from below. You want to see the face first of all? Okay, one last time to show you guys the face. One of the main real reasons why I love Captain Cold so much. I mean, the guy's walking around in a parka. I can't imagine how hot that would be. Central City, the guy's walking around, big parka on his body, I don't know. Anyways, you just basically pop the face off like this. And you'll see underneath, though, there's no frightful looking alien face. We've had that happen a couple of times. Basically, all you're going to really do is there's a peg right at the top. There's a larger, like little, I don't know what you want to look like, a cylinder-like shaped plastic piece. Sorry, I spat all over everybody. Just basically going to take the head, and you kind of have to put it in on an angle. There we go, and then snap it in place. You know you've succeeded by the way it does that satisfying snap. Again, it's a good looking head. I mean, there's also, again, this option. But for me, displaying this guy on the shelf, I have to go with a chilling looking smile. Such the coolest of the heads. Anyways, for his head, as you can see, he does have, of course, the park on. I love the sculpting of this hood. I mean, they could have easily just stopped it right there, but they thought, no, we're going to go a little extra here, spend the budget on plastic, and they made this little curly Q down at the bottom of this. I think that makes the parka, the hood of the parka look so very interesting. Of course, he does have the frilled collar piece. That doesn't change really at all. I mean, the look of Captain Cold has looked this way for years. I don't feel like he really needs to make that. Don't modernize the look of Captain Cold. The guy's literally running around the streets, robbing banks, dressed like basically, I don't know, like, I don't want to say an Eskimo. I don't think we can even call them Eskimos anymore. Inuit people. But I just love the look of the parka. The blue, as you can see, does change a little bit. So it's fairly dark at the top here. But he kind of gets to areas here where if you look at his shoulders, I have to kind of just lift everything up so you can see. Some of the sculpting ends up delivering a little bit lighter of a blue. So you see a little bit lighter on the blue in the front. Blue is lighter here also on the fronts of his pants. But then things like his pockets and things like his sides are a little bit darker of a blue. Initially, I looked at this and I thought, I don't feel like they needed to add as much texturing as they did. A simple, just wrinkled parka would have been more than enough. But, you know, the more I look at it, I mean, if you're going to modernize the character, at least keep the look somewhat consistent and then just sort of add unnecessary pockets and texturing. At least it doesn't change the look all that much. Furry-looking boots, I love the look of those. A nice gold belt there also on the front. It's not quite, though, the same color as his holster. And again, I keep going back to looking at the DC Universe ones. I mean, the yellow of the belt clearly was the same color of the little holster on the side. I don't know why they chose to give him a gold on the front. I guess that's pretty close, because if you look at the original card, yeah, the gold's also there as well. For the figure's articulation, Captain Cold does have, yeah, a ball joint in his head. Even though, like, you would think that there's a pretty complicated step of processes to change out the face, actually his head still retains some decent levels of posability. I wasn't really expecting that his head would be able to look up and down like this, nor really to rock back and forth, but it can actually be done. Sometimes, though, doing it, though, it may result in the faceplate popping off. But as you already saw, it's a pretty simple fix. Just pop it back in place. As for the shoulders are going to be granted a little bit more limited just because he's got this piece across the top of his torso. You can bring his arms still out at 90-degree angle bend. Rotating his arm, though, becomes more of a struggle because it has to get around this lip of plastic. Still succeeds, though, but you're going to be working a little harder to do that. Swivel there at the bicep. Captain Cold does also have a double hinge on the elbow. Yeah, and the hands do rotate all the way around with a hinge back and forth. Upper torso is going to be on a very good ball joint. I mean, look at the state of this ball joint and how much I can actually do. The lower abdomen area is somewhat the same as well. There's a ball joint there too. The legs split out. Because this holster attaches here and not here, it doesn't limit the articulation when it comes to moving out his legs. You can also take them and easily move them forward. Karate chopping from behind. The figure's legs do swivel at the top of the thigh. Double hinge on the knee. There is no articulation here for the boot. It seems like, obviously I can't imagine they're going to be using this mold again, that this boot is just a continued sculpt from the rest of his calf. So because of that, you can't rotate them independently. You can, however, though, move the ankle up and down this way. You can rock it back and forth. And yeah, the figure does have toe articulation as well. Short of Batman, I still don't think there's a rogues gallery can beat the one from the Cape Crusader. I think that, like, Flash, for me at least, is probably the second best rogues gallery in all of comics. When you think of really all the characters that he has, I mean, so crazy characters, too. I mean, we're looking at Captain Boomerang and Captain Cold, for example. Let's also bring in Reverse Flash. Then you got Mirror Master. You got Weather Wizard. I think you also have the top. There's a lot of cool characters. And again, there I go saying cool. A lot of interesting characters that maybe as we get near the end of the run of the multiverse stuff that we're getting from Mcfarlane Toys, of course. Yeah, maybe I'm hoping we can get some more Silver Age Rogues Gallery. I mean, we don't need to modernize the looks of the characters at all. Clearly, Captain Cold keeps the look consistent. He looks just as good as he did from, like, the days of the Mattel. I mean, obviously, a little bit smaller of a figure. I'm not going to be displaying the two together, but at least it shows you. It also reminded me, too, like, I had the chance to kind of bring out these figures, like, we're sitting in storage for so long. To bring these out, you don't realize until you actually display them along with Mcfarlane Toys figures how much smaller the DC Universe Classics figures actually were, and how much bigger by comparison the stuff that we're getting from Todd and his team. I do really like the look of Captain Cold as a character. I don't like him enough, though, to spend the money to get the Platinum Edition release of him. Yeah, what? There was two of them? Yeah, there is. The mold is going to be exactly the same. The only thing that's changed and tweaked between this one and the Platinum Edition is the holster on the other one actually is white instead of yellow. The freeze gun is now red instead of this metallic purple. But the biggest changes between the two is that Captain Cold has sort of frostbitten faces. He's got Smurf faces. I really feel for Captain Cold. The character likes the cold. Why would he ever have, like, frostbitten faces? I'm sure anybody that goes a little deeper down the rabbit hole of reading comics would probably tell me why. It would work a little better, I feel, for Mr. Freeze. I don't think it really works as well for Captain Cold. In the end, I only really need the one on the shelf, and I don't feel like this one's going to get changed anytime. I do like the look that even though they've modernized the look of his suit, they've still kept to the classics. I mean, you can't beat the classics when it comes to his costume. And even though, again, he looks kind of silly walking around Central City streets with a parka on, that's the thing that made Captain Cold, and again, sorry for me saying this, so cool in the first place. What do you guys think of the figure? Let me know down below in the comment section. Have you guys had the chance to pick this one up? Did you also get the Platinum Edition? And let me know which one you have currently on your display. As a video question, what's your favorite Cold character? Doesn't even have to be Captain Cold. Maybe it's Mr. Freeze. Maybe it's Professor Coldheart from Care Bears. Who's your favorite Cold character? Let me know down below. If you guys, in the meantime, did enjoy this video, you can do it a all and throw it a like. Guys want to stick around for more so? Excuse me. I hope so. Hit that subscribe, turn on that bell, and of course, come back. While we are wrapping up things right now for Professor Cold, will be more DC Multiverse reviews coming your way. So as always, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.